You know how most movie trailers nowadays have like one sentence reviews in them, like best film of the year, the biggest blockbuster of the year. Like, here's my one sentence review for Strange Darling, an instant fucking classic. Greetings, my fancy viewers. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm gonna be talking about the new independent film that's out right now, Strange Darling, written and directed by T.J. Mulder. So let me start off by saying I went into this film completely blind. I heard a little bit of buzz on Twitter saying, hey, if you go see this movie, see it completely blind. Don't look up the trailers, don't look up anything. And that's exactly what I did. And man, I am so glad I did. Here's my quick review for you guys, because I recommend you guys going to see this movie right now instead of watching this review, just going completely blind. This is one of my favorite films of the year. I freaking adored this film. I'm gonna give it a super high rating. Just, there you go. There's my super quick review. Just go out and see this film right now. Don't watch any reviews, don't look at any trailers, don't look at anything. Just go out and see this movie. Please! It's so freaking good. But if you need a little bit more convincing, that's why I'm here to convince you just a little bit to go out and see this film. Just trust me on this one, guys. Just trust me. Okay, for those of you that are still here and want to hear my review, here's what I have to say. Man, I freaking adored Strange Darling. It is such an homage and love letter to the classic films of the 70s and 80s, especially like thriller slasher films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In fact, the film even opens up with an opening title crawl, pretty much beat for beat like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And from that very opening crawl, I was locked in. I was like, oh, it's one of these movies. Okay, I'm in. But what the film really doesn't tell you in the title is that this film is actually in 6 chapters. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of this complete story. But the thing is, the film starts in chapter 3. It doesn't start in the very beginning of chapter 1. It starts at chapter 3. And it's just an intense roller coaster from the very beginning. You have the lady, played by Willa Fitzgerald, and she's being chased down by the demon, played by Kyle Gallner. Yeah, that's right, they don't even give the main characters any names, they just call them like the lady and the monster. And I just love that. It adds so much more charm to this film because, I mean, the films from like the 70s and 80s weren't really well known for their super like in-depth characters, especially in like some like classic slasher films. So the film is just like, you know what, let's just call our characters the lady and the demon. Why not? Why not? And I just love that. It adds so much more charm to this film. And the film goes all over the place with its story. It goes from chapter 3 to chapter 1 and chapter 2, then all the way to chapter 5 and chapter 4, then to chapter 6. There's even an epilogue in it. And yes, that might seem like a weird way to structure your film, but in my opinion, that's what heightens my enjoyment of this film, because if it was just, beat for beat, chapter 1 and chapter 6, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed the film as much. The way how this story is structured and it's making the audience piece this story together, it just adds so much charm to this film. Like, I was expecting oh, it's gonna be a classic slasher film when the opening title crawl happened. But when it went to chapter 3, I immediately locked in. I was like, alright, it's one of those kind of movies. Alright, let's go. And the story goes through all these twists and turns as well. Like, there's just so many different things that happen in the story where you keep on second guessing yourself of where the heck this is gonna lead up to. I mean, this is like Shyamalan levels of storytelling, of twists and turns. Like I was just enthralled by the story. I had a handful of popcorn in my hand for 10 minutes straight, just engrossed by this film. Like, I forgot that I was even eating my snack. I was just glued to the screen, just man, this is cinema. And the acting is amazing as well. Kyle Gallner does a great job playing this menacing brute with a gun, just chasing down Willa Fitzgerald's character. And every time he's on screen, they have this bombastic music that plays. Like, every time he's on screen, it goes, boom. And it's just, oh man, his character is just so freaking menacing. And Kyle Gallner does a great job just playing this one-note brute. But as the story goes on, his character has a bit more depth to him that I had no idea that was gonna happen. I did not expect the route that his character was gonna go. Emilia Fitzgerald, like I said, does a good job playing this damsel in distress. And yes, like Kyle Gallner's character, there's a bit more to her character as well. Again, parts that I had no idea it was leading up to. There's some certain scenes near chapter 1 of the story where I was like, wait, where the hell is this gonna go? Wait a minute, what's happening here? And the film looks beautiful too. I mean, this film was shot in 35mm film, so of course it's gonna look gorgeous, but man, it just has that super classic 70s, 80s vibe to it. Like, I'm a sucker for when I can tell that there's just love and passion put into a film and I can just see the vision the director was going for. And man, here, just, oh man, I had the biggest smile on my face. I was like, man, I haven't been like this just engrossed in a film like in like forever. Like, I think like last film I saw that I was just so glued to the screen was Dune Part 2 that came out this year. Like, this is one of the best films to come out this year, man. Oh, it's just so freaking, this is cinema, bro. Oh my god. And the music is just, mwah. Like I said, every time Kyle Gallner's character's on screen, they add in like this loud, bombastic music to it. But they also add in some actual licensed music into the film. And it's not just some random like licensed music they threw in there. The music is also part of the storytelling. It's not just some like random music. It's just like, oh, just throw that song in there. Like, the music actually has a purpose here. And when I can tell that so much love and attention to detail was put into something as little as that just shows that the director truly had a vision for this film. Like, oh my god. I mean, this is just what cinema is all about, guys. Like, I freaking love movies, and like seeing films like this that have so much love and passion put into this, man, that just makes me happy. When I was leaving the theater, I just had a giant smile on my face just thinking of every scene that I loved. And like, this is just a love letter to movies. The entire car ride home from the theater, I was just thinking about every single scene that I loved. I loved how everything was just perfectly crafted in this film. Like, man, I haven't seen a film that maybe just like appreciates cinema like as much as this in a long time. Like, movies are freaking back, dude. Like, if you ever have a family member that's like, oh, we don't make movies like they used to, well, take them to see this. This film is truly a callback to classic cinema of like the 70s and 80s. Like, oh man, I freaking adored this film. Now, if I had like one tiny little complaint, it's that I would say the rewatch value on this isn't as strong as some other like mystery films, because there is a bit of a mystery to the story here. And I would say that the reveal of what goes on in this film is going to be like a huge shocker, or like you're not going to notice any new details in this film's story whenever you rewatch it. It's like, oh, I didn't notice that part. There's not going to be any of that. But honestly, that's not really a complaint, is it? A rewatch value isn't a complaint for a film. And man, just TJ Molnar, you made one of the best films of the year. I can't help but just give you a freaking round of applause. I can tell that you have such a love and passion for cinema like me and many other people. Just thank you for making this amazing film. Which is why I would love to bestow upon Strange Darling the holy top hat. Congratulations to everybody that worked on this film. So yeah, as you can tell, I love this one. One of my favorites of the year. I honestly just want to go out and see it again. I want to just get up and see it again right now. And please go out and see it too. Guys, if it's your first time hearing like we've seen, be sure to subscribe for more content. And have you seen Strange Darling? Please do. But if you did, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Have a fantastic night, and as always, stay fancy.